And how was it divided?
I can talk about what happened in Cleveland.
Yeah.
In 2016. So we get a certain amount of money. We played all the way through Game 7 and we lost. So we get the second highest amount of money. Before the postseason happens, the players sit down and they decide how that money is going to be divvied up. Because there's a lot of people that go into winning. So you have the players, but what about the guy that was there for the first 3 months and then got released that helped win some games? Or the guys that came up for 15 total days and then went back and forth to the minor leagues, they helped win some games. Then you have the clubhouse staff that is with you every single day, your athletic trainers, your strength and conditioning coaches, your coaching staff. Well, the coaching staff is different, but you have your massage therapists, the chefs, you have the bat boys, you have the people who, the security guards. There's a lot of people that go into, the traveling secretary, into making a season happen for a team. So we sit down as player group and we vote on who is going to get those shares. So in order to be part of the player group that votes, you have to have more than, I believe it's more than half of the games that season of big league time. So as long as you have basically 3 months or more in the big leagues that year, you're part of the voting group. So the voting group gets together and you go down the list of all the people who are eligible. And you say, okay, voting on everyone that has full year of service time is guaranteed a full share.
Right. And you have a certain number, like 6 or however many shares you have, and then you have partial shares too, and things like that.
Yeah, so you can give out as many or as few shares as you want, and you can do it in 3 different ways. You can give a cash bonus where it's not a full share; it's just a strict cash amount. You can give a partial share, which is a quarter of a full share or a 3/8 or whatever it is. And then you can give a full share. And so this is voted on by the player voting group. So you say, okay, how about the security guard that guards the clubhouse 81 games a year? And you're like, okay, well, we all vote that he gets $10,000 bonus. Okay, we mark that down on a sheet. Okay, what about such and such player who was up for 4.5 months but is no longer with the team? Well, we think he should get 3/4 share, or he was a big part of it, and let's give him a full share. So, and it has to be a majority vote. So if you have, let's say, 20 players in the room, and
it could be kind of awkward, though, right? Or kind of contentious, and I mean,
it does get awkward. So there's a time when a player would come up, let's say in September, because this has happened before. A player will come up in September, and he'll pitch 4 or 5 times, or he'll hit a couple games, and he'll perform really well, and he'll make the postseason roster. So what do? Do you give him a full share for being on the postseason roster?
Yeah.
Or do you give him a partial share because he's only there for?
But he could have been really clutch. I mean, you guys think about it. He
might start in the on the wild card game. If you have to play the wild card game, he might have to start in that.
Either an injury or something.
Yeah, he as a pitcher or in left field, or he might come in and be a pinch runner. I know this happens with the Royals a lot, and Gore. They would call him up in September, and he would pinch run, and then he was on the postseason roster just to pinch run. So then the players have to decide, do you give him a full share, a half share, what's fair? What about guys that, came up and were injured and came back and only played whatever? So you have to vote on these things. And then sometimes it gets kind of contentious where it's like 8 people really want to give the chefs a full share because they cook and they took really good care of them. And then other people are like, no, man, they didn't do that good a job. We didn't think they were good, or we didn't like the food, or we wanted whatever it is. And then you have this argument going back and forth among players. And this happens basically as soon as you clinch. So let's say you clinch the last day of the season and you're going to the postseason. You play the wild card game on Tuesday. On Monday, you're sitting down and having to decide. And now you have these arguments that are potentially going back and forth.
So you guys decide this before you even begin the postseason.
Correct. Right. And then the total overall amount, just to give people a reference, first off, it's taxed. So we got, I think, in the high 300s.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, we gave out, I think, around 70 shares, total shares, between cash prizes and partial shares and full shares. So we had about 70 player shares, and then we got each like 380,000 or something. So by the time that it got taxed and all the fees and everything taken out, we're getting about $260,000 for the entirety of the postseason.
Yeah, so I think I read something where I think Colin McHugh with the Astros in 2017 when they won, I think he got the highest share out of anybody, or the highest amount out of anybody. I don't know if he got an extra cash bonus or, but he ended up taking around like $400 and something thousand. Now, for a guy who's making the minimum around $550, that's a good amount of money.
No doubt.
That's almost double
Yeah.
your entire year's salary. But to put it in context, I mean, a guy who's making $30 million, what is he making a month then?
Well, there's 12 pay periods, right? So you get paid for 6 months, you get paid every 2 weeks. So if you're, let's just say 24, because we can divide that really easily, every pay period, if you're making $24 million, there's 12 pay periods, you're getting $2 million a pay period. There's 2 pay periods per month.
Per month.
So that's $4 million per month. Now that's prior to taxes and all that.
So even if it's $2 million, let's say
so
50
you
of
clear,
the government.
yeah, so 50% goes away. You clear $2 million a month. Now for a full month of postseason play, you might clear 300,000.
And who are the real, the people that are really carrying you through the postseason and allowing these teams to get their big TV deals are the players. And the players are coming out so a guy who's making, let's say, $4 million a month is now going to get, if they win the entire thing, and
basically 10% of his monthly salary.
That's what he will get paid for being, the city's
for playing
hero.
the highest leverage, getting the city, all these visitors for the World Series, the influx, all the hotels, all the TV, all the exposure, all the merch, all the everything.
And that's another month that you're taxing your body.
Right.
That you can't recover, that you can't spend time with your family, that you can't, that you are throwing or hitting. That's
a lot of
taxing
people are
on your
playing
body.
through injuries at that point because it's like, this is the postseason, I got to be out there.
Yeah.
Guys got sprained ankles that need surgery, that are getting taped up.
What was it in Boston? That was great. It was Eduardo.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Nunez.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You just see, could barely walk.
Can't walk, and
But he
goes
gets out there
and
and he's getting the team. How much money are the Red Sox making? And he's taking away, under $500,000.
Yeah.